actually nag-fizzle out yung transport strike.
So,
Natin, ang sinasabi, ang talagang pinaka-solusyon sa oil, yung suspension ng VAT. Ano po talaga ang policy, sir? Hindi suspend yung VAT on oil.
Bagyan natin tanong si Secretary Purismo. Cesar, are we allowed to suspend VAT on anything?
No, sir. It's in the law, sir. The application of, we have to amend the law. We need an amendment of the law, sir. Yeah. But I think the easier way to do as what has been done by the President is really provide subsidy rather than amend the law.
Parang hinahabol yung subsidy, targeted subsidy. Sino ba naapektuhan ng presyong to? Diba yun yung idea ng pantawid pasada? Hindi natin masasabing napaka-successful ng pantawid pasada dahil kasama na rin ng minana namin yung kaguluhan to sa prangkisa. Yung maraming hindi nabigyan ng kanilang card dahil hindi nila ma-produce yung kanilang franchises. Pero mga documentation dahil ang Department of Energy papatakbo nito, kailangan i-liquidate yung subsidy tapos hindi maipakita na yung preba na ito yung karapat-dapat na pinuntahan itong assistance na to. So nag-iingat yung DOE, hindi naman pre-reduce yung kaukulang mga dokumento, hindi maibigay ng 100%. Sa totoo lang, iba pa yung figures na binibigay na kung sino may prangkisa. Inayos ng Secretary Roshan. Iba yung figures ng LTFRB, iba yung LTO. Tulad ng maraming datos natin, iba-iba, depende kung sino kausapin mong ahensya. Pero natuto na tayo rin doon, may mga inaayos doon sa sistema para mas maging mabilis ang pagbibigay ng subsidy at sumasiguradong walang leakage rin.
Called on your administration to step up spending even at the expense of having a little corruption go through. What are your thoughts on this?
How do you say a little corruption?
Your thoughts?
Tama yan, no? We will, let's go back to where it started, no? Number one, sabi na, pump prime. Pag little corruption, baka sakaling maka-pump prime. Pero nung araw kasi, look at ARM. Di ba sabi ng COA, 80%. Saan napunta 80% na yun? Into the hands of very few people who will not spend the 80% that they absconded with, who will put it in vaults in their houses, things like that. So, kung ano man yung dumulas, yung 20% na dumulas sa kanila, yun lang ang na-pump prime. And sabihin nga, hindi kaya nga little corruption. Pero pag puhay ka ng konting corruption, paano mo hihintuin yung bigger corruption? Now, but we have been reviewing the expenditures. Amongst the items that we are looking at are yung slow-moving na projects, yung kulang yung absorptive capacity. I-declare na namin savings for this year, yung allocation nila, and we'll put it into those that have a better ability to absorb. May mga commitments of so many agencies, no, that their allocations will be spent by various dates. So, meron November, meron by December. But they will maximize all of their appropriations at this point in time. I think yung in direct contrast, Cesar, it was July, no? Yung DPWH, for instance. July expenditure ng DPWH compared to the first 6 months.
Was higher by 16 billion approximately. I'll give you the exact number. That's why our deficit increased to 43 billion
from 17. We started by 17?
From 17.
Parang ganun siguro. Ulitin natin, no? Yung first 6 months produced 17 billion in deficit. Ang target is 300B. Or yung allowable under the program is 300. Yung by July, which is the 7th month, naging 43 na yung 17. So nag-accelerate, and isa sa biggest component of acceleration, 16 billion of that, roughly, no, came from DPWH. Tapos the others in DepEd also will be, has promised the completion of how many thousands of schools? Something like 6,000 schools. 6 or 8, parang 6, no? 6 by December. Tapos they're gearing up, total of 11, pati sa DPWH, 11,000 schools. Tapos next year, ang target ka natin, PPP, 45,000 schools. So, more or less, halos patatapos na natin yung deficit na 66. Ngayon, pag hindi na tinupad yung kanilang mga commitment, siyempre, may evaluation ng pasensyahan na kayo. Pasensyahan tayo dito. Hindi nyo na-achieve yung targets.
corruption.
Sorry?
So to you, sir, there's no such thing as little corruption. It's an absolute for you.
I think we went to the same school and they taught us the principle that when you cup water in your hands, you open it a little, you cannot say only a little bit of the water will be gone. Yeah. But siguro, ang hirap na nga, imagine, no? Sa lahat ng pronouncements natin, yung ginawa sa 4B, sinubukan na naman i-chop-chop yung project. Eh, hindi na sa 4B nangyari yan. Hindi pa naman tapos yung bakbakan dyan eh. Yung ayaw nila i-review by authorities that are not totally under their control. Bibigyan pa natin na larga at luwang. I'm reasonably confident that we will spend a substantial portion of what was allocated and therefore achieve the positive impact on the economy. That's part one. The other is we are reviewing other programs and policies programs and projects that might that seem to have a better absorptive capacity, and we will, instead of putting them to 2012, but we can fund them in 2011, and that will also add. So we will be very close to the targets, and we will be close to all of the commitments na diminishing in deficit in relation to GDP. But first, we have to spend at the appropriate level this year. Yung paalala lang ulit, yung sa DPWH in particular, something like 70% of all of the projects na-discover nila, pinapa-realign. Tapos tingnan nila, bakit yung kailangan pa-realign? Ang dami naman ito. Ang kinalabasan, tapos na pala yung marami doon sa mga proyektong yun or ongoing na. So, kung nilawagan lang yung 70% ganun-ganun, o di, saan napunta yun kung natapos na yung dapat pagpuntahan nila? Paano magiging minimal? Yeah.
Okay, last two.
Rocky.
Mr. President, you cited dun sa speech
May importance ng technology sa good governance and transparency. So, gaano po ka-priority ng Aquino administration yung sinasabi nating broadband network or technology sa Philippines? Pasok po ba ito dun sa 2012 action plan na nilatag nyo kanina sa OGP?
Hindi mo tayo kailangan doon sa broadband kaagad. Yung SMS pa lang, yung MMS, malaking bagay na eh. Yung MMS, pinadala sa akin isang alleged, karsada sa Samar na nire-block, ibig sabihin nire-repair yung section. Pinakita sa akin nung MMS, allegedly, yung before and after. Yung before, mukhang maayos yung karsada eh. So parang hindi kailangan giniba para i-reblock. So pinakita ko kay Secretary Singson yun para imbestigahan kung tama yung nangyari yun o hindi. So hindi pa yung broadband talaga. No? So even yung telemedicine will also use the cell phone sites. Yung sensors for flooding and landslides also will be using just the SMS facilities and MMS facilities of various telcos that are already existing. In the better person to give you a briefing on exactly what the broadband scheme is would be Secretary Montejo. And what he will show you basically is, number one, we already have existing facilities we don't have to build. We can just add perhaps yung tinatawag na last mile. That's number one. The facilities primarily are the ones with Transco, which is now National Grid. Yung facilities then were, and the grid itself has not been sold to anybody. Di ba, nilis lang natin. So atin pa rin yun. May provisions rin doon sa agreement that we can use certain amount of the bandwidth. We can add to that yung mga telcos that have already put it up. Di ba nung ginagawa yung ZTE, 3 years na bago puwasok yung telcos, yung ZTE itself, 3 years rin to put up the network. So, yun, mag-a-add rin. Ang sasabihin sa ni Secretary Montejo, yung proposal ng ZTE, hindi, paano masabi, will not be effective, is costly, will be obsolete, even before you put it up. Yung pinopropose will be a lot cheaper, uses existing facilities of government already, and is para upgradable.